There is a hotel in Colorado that is alleged to have so much paranormal activity that some of its original guest rooms have been locked away from the public and are strictly used as storage closets for the hotel staff. Some have alleged the paranormal activity here is so intense and disturbing that the locked storage closets are under 24-hour video surveillance from both the inside and out. What goes on inside of these locked rooms that are kept away from the public? Why are there cameras inside? Is it simply to prevent the theft of costly hotel supplies? Or is there some other dark and sinister reason? We go to Glenwood Springs, Colorado, and try to answer that question, plus many others, as we explore the ghost stories of Hotel Colorado. Glenwood Springs, Colorado is approximately 125 miles west of Denver on I-70. Glenwood Springs is located in the narrow mountain valleys that host the confluence of the Colorado River and the Roaring Fork River. The area is also rich with caves and natural geothermic hot springs. The Ute Indians were the original inhabitants of the land. The hot springs and the mineral water were considered as sacred to the Ute Indians. They called it Yampa, which loosely translates to big medicine. The Ute Indians believed this mineral water could cure the sick and dying. The underground caves and hot springs of Yampa are still in existence to this very day. The infamous Doc Holliday spent some time in the underground cavernous Yampa hot springs before he passed in November of 1887 of tuberculosis and was buried in the cemetery not far from the Hotel Colorado. More on Mr. Holliday later. The Ute Indians were removed from the area in 1879 after the Meeker Massacre. In 1880, the first white man to lay claim to the land was James Landis. In 1882, Landis sold his 160-acre claim to a gentleman by the name of Isaac Cooper. In 1885, Cooper changed the name of the fledgling town from Defiance to Glenwood Springs. Glenwood, Iowa was his wife's hometown. This clearly influenced the town's new name. Mining engineer and banker from a wealthy family from New York, Walter Devereaux, came to Colorado and purchased 10 acres from Cooper in 1887. The land he purchased had the hot springs, the river, the vapor caves, and of course the site where the hotel sits. Could the underground vapor caves of Yampa actually connect to the basement of the Hotel Colorado? The vapor caves are just a few hundred yards south of the hotel. In 1888, Walter Devereaux built the city's hydraulic plant, driven by the water of the no-name creek. Yampa Vapor Cave number 3 was one of the original sites that had electricity in Glenwood Springs. Construction on the hotel began in 1890 and was open for business June 10th, 1893. The Hotel Colorado was leased to the United States Navy for use as a hospital. The U.S. Naval Convalescent Hospital was commissioned on July 5, 1943, and served over 6,500 patients by the end of 1945. The hospital was officially decommissioned in 1946. The basement at the time was used as the hospital's morgue. What kind of horrific things have the walls of this basement been witness to over the last century? Some who have spent time in the basement have reported seeing horrific faces in the window wells peering in when they go outside to investigate the deep window wells that require a ladder to enter whatever person or thing was inside was no longer there. Also inside the basement, a dark and menacing female figure has been observed in the shadows. Staff and guests alike have all agreed if you see this heinous-looking spirit in the evening, let her pass. Because if you disrupt her movement, she reveals her broken and twisted features from when she was last observed in the hotel. Bludgeoned to death by one of her lovers. This grotesque and unsightly woman is often seen not only in the basement, but also the 4th floor, inside room 454, where the female was allegedly beaten to death by a jealous lover from a lover's triangle. These days, the guest room is locked away from the public. When this dark and pissed-off spirit is not roaming the hotel, she is believed to be at rest in the very room she was murdered in. And often late at night, if you knock hard enough on the door and disrupt her rest, she will answer. The true identity of the female is still in question to this very day. Some say she was a nurse when the hotel was a naval hospital. Others say she was a chambermaid. Accounts of this story differ. Some say she wasn't murdered in room 454, but rather the basement, and her body was cleverly disguised amongst the other bodies inside the morgue, and the Navy covered up the homicide investigation. Okay, everybody. Hotel Colorado, room 442. What's up with the number 4 with all these places? Let's see what we got in here. Here's the bathroom with a window AC unit. That's nice. Nice bathroom area. And we come over here. We have another bathroom. Awesome. Pretty nice room thus far. And over here, have a TV. Nice fireplace. Nice little lounging area. With an old school heater, and thank God for that, because it is a cooker today. And right over here, little kitchenette set. And of course, balcony. Hotel Colorado, room 442. So hopefully we can get some activity. Don't know if there's any particular history with this room or anything, but we shall see. After nightfall, we begin our adventure with a trip to Glenwood Pioneer Cemetery, just south of the hotel. The final resting place of gambler and gunslinger Doc Holliday. In 1887, Holliday made his way to Glenwood Springs. He hoped to take advantage of the reputed healing powers of the Yampa Vapor Caves and Hot Springs to treat his tuberculosis. The sulfur fumes from the springs may have done his lungs more harm than good. John Henry Doc Holliday died of his tuberculosis in a rented room at the Hotel Glenwood, not far from the Hotel Colorado. November 8th, 1887. Is the spirit of Doc Holliday roaming about this cemetery, endlessly searching for his final grave site? For you see, no one knows exactly where Mr. Holliday is buried inside the Linwood Pioneer Cemetery in Glenwood Springs. Some even say he's buried in the Potter's Field.
Do a little bit of explaining. Say hello. Alright, here we go.
What kind of spirits and unexplainable things happen late at night in this cemetery of souls that are over a century old?
Check out the moss on that tombstone. It's kind of crazy, huh? What was that?
On our way to the cemetery, we came across this.
Don't know if you can see it, but for whatever reason, people have put all kinds of stuff on this tree. Ribbons and beads and necklaces. Yeah, I've got a sock, a beer can, some more of that weird rock. Just a bunch of creepy stuff. Yep, beads, necklaces. Kind of different. Don't know what it's for, but there it is.
Truth be told, Jennifer and I visited the cemetery during the day as well.
It's about half a mile up that trail right there. And here we go in the blistering 92-degree heat. Are you ready?
Yep.
Here we go.
Ready.
The truth is, Jennifer and I would never trespass in a cemetery. You see, this cemetery is open to the public 24 hours a day. Once you are approximately halfway up the trail, you'll come across this tree decorated in ribbons, beads, shoes, articles of clothing, and other items. We also found these strange rock piles amongst the trail leading to the open entrance of the cemetery. Overall, the graveyard is very well maintained and is actually a very peaceful place to visit, day or
This
night.
place is pretty cool. It's definitely very...
Due to the actual location of Doc Holliday's body being unknown, there is a memorial for him in the northwest portion of the cemetery. We return to our hotel, wait for nightfall, then we explore and see if there is any evidence to these stories that come from books and online urban legends. Guests have reported the odor of cigar smoke, which is believed to be the ghost of Walter Devereaux. The Hotel Colorado has played host to a series of vivid characters over the last century. Presidents Theodore Roosevelt and William Taft have stayed in this hotel, as well as the unsinkable Molly Brown. All of the rooms that we tried to investigate in the hotel were either occupied by other guests or were locked away from the public. including room 551, where in 1982, during the hotel's renovation,
the ghost living inside chose the wallpaper.
During our stay at Hotel Colorado, we never encountered any evil apparitions or spirits of any kind. What we did experience were certain lights throughout the hotel going on and off. Were these simply power surges from an old building or something else? When I left my GoPro in our hotel room charging, I came back to it to discover the digital display was in a foreign language. See if you can see anything in our hotel room that we may have missed. With the hotel's long and varied past and its time as a naval hospital, there is no question that this hotel has a long history of death and darkness. Is Hotel Colorado haunted? Are the stories true, or are they myths brought on by strange noises and sights that you might expect from a building that is over a century old? Either way, you'll have to come out and see for yourself. If you like these stories and you want to read more of them, check out Apparition Manor, The True Ghost Stories of the Hotel Colorado by Kathy Rippey Fleming, available from the Book Grove in Colorado Springs.